Yeah. Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Emiliano, Simon, and myself, Eduardo, we are really happy to be here with you to talk about mobile app engagement this morning. Emiliano and myself, we work here in Google Dublin as a mobile app promotion specialist, and I will let Simon, our friend from Adjust, to introduce himself.
Yeah, hi guys. So I'm Simon from Adjust. We're a mobile app tracking provider, and I'm heading up the integrations and solution engineering team. And we've been working with Google for like 2.5 years at least. So I'm just going to give the mic back to Emiliano now.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah, thank you, Simon. Thank you guys for attending. Just to let you know, at the end of the presentation, we're going to take 2 or 3 minutes to reply to your questions. So as you can see on the right part of the live, there is a box where you can post your questions. So feel free to post anything you think it's interesting, and we will try to pick up the most interesting one. Thank you.
So we're going to start by sharing some metrics of why mobile app engagement is crucial for your mobile app promotion strategy. This is some numbers from eMarketer that they published this year, saying that only 6% of all Android and iOS apps have active users after 30 days. So this is showing us that keep app users engaged is tough, and this is concerning because mParticles Marketing, they did this survey this year asking advertisers what are their main priorities for 2016. And number one priority was to increase app user engagement and retention. Okay, so based on this data, we see that first priority is increase app user engagement and retention. Second one will be grow mobile app user base. And the third one, improve in-app conversion funnel, UX. Now that we have seen why re-engagement is more and more crucial for our mobile app promotion strategy, we're going to deep dive on how we should think about re-engagement. So your best users, you need to think that your best users, they may already have your app.
Yeah, Edu, you are completely right. We both work with clients across Europe, Middle East, Africa, and the vast majority of them are mainly focusing on new users. When you think about your users, you have to think that these people have shown an interest in your app. So they already installed your app, they maybe have used your app. So it's very, very important and crucial to keep engaging with them. That's why we think that maybe the best users are the users that already have your app.
Yeah. And it's also really important to understand what is the user journey inside the app. Okay, so here we have, this could be any app, but let's say that this is a news app where we want the user to install the app, then maybe sign in. Then after reading some news, it will be nice if he can share this news with his friends on social media. And as a last step, spend some money with us. So for example, going from a standard package to a premium package. So it's really important to identify the main points for us, track it to understand how many conversions we're having, and also build audience list out of it. Not only that, but it's also really important to identify the users that they are dropping. And they are dropping before doing the actions that we are concerned about. Also, to know how many users are doing that, but it's really important to create audience lists to later re-engage them, bring them to the app, and encourage them to finish the action that they haven't finished. So if you haven't done so, we will advise you to do the same, sit down with your teams and think about all this that we have talked and try to build a user journey inside the app. So there's one thing that is really, really important for mobile app promotion, which is deep link. Deep links are the first thing that we need to think about before we start doing anything on mobile app engagement. So in case some of you don't know what is a deep link is a URI that when the user clicks on it, it will send the user to the specific screen inside the app. So this is for users, when the user has the app, it will open the app and send it to the specific screen. it's not only about having deep links, but it's also really important to set these deep links properly. So here we have an example. So this is a messaging app, and let's say that I'm using this and I'm sharing this with Emiliano or Simon. I want them to see this video. So if the deep link is working properly, what it will happen is they will click on the link, on their phone, it will open the YouTube app, and they will go to the specific screen inside the YouTube app. So we will achieve our objective, and they will watch the video. What will happen in case that the deep link is not properly set up? So two things could happen. One is that we have a broken link, so we see an error message. And the second one is that it opens the YouTube app. It will open the YouTube app, but it will open it on the homepage. So most likely is that we don't achieve our objective because Emiliano or Simon, they won't see the video that we are sharing with him.
Yeah, thank you, Edu. Thank you, Edu, for this great introduction. What we want now to do is deep dive a bit on the Google and Adjust solutions. So we want to give you an idea of what does it mean having re-engagement campaigns with the both platforms. But before jumping in the solution, let's say, I want to tell you a brief story. So you might wondering why you are seeing an umbrella guy selling umbrellas on the street. This is not a wrong slide. This is not a mistake. This is just a brief story. So, for example, I was in Milan a few days ago, and in the morning it was sunny. So I didn't think to bring the umbrella with me, but during the day it started raining heavily. So I was walking down the streets and a bit wet because of the rain, and I bumped in one of these guys that usually sell umbrellas. And in that moment, I thought, this is an amazing experience of re-engagement in real life. So how we want you to think about re-engagement is the guy with the yellow hat, the white hat is your users. So people that maybe have your product, maybe have downloaded your app, but they forgot about it. So like me, that I forgot the umbrella. And you should be the umbrella guy. So you should be there in the right moment, giving them the right service because they are interested in. So this is just a brief story of something that could happen to all of us. Let's now switch to the solutions. So how to build re-engagement. There are 4 easy steps to keep in mind. Depending if you are on Android, if you want to launch an Android campaign or an iOS campaign, there are a few differences. The first step, with Android, you can create and track events linking your Play account with your AdWords account, or implement the Adjust SDK to start tracking in-app actions and create remarketing list. On iOS, you can do only the implementation of the Adjust SDK, okay? The second step is, as Eduardo said, build deep links. And then in a few moments, Simon from Adjust will tell us more about deep links. The third step is creating strategy. What does it mean? It means that you have to connect with your account managers in Google or in Adjust or both of them and work together in order to create the right strategy for your business related to re-engagement. The fourth step is which are the solutions based on your strategy. So for Android, we have search app re-engagement and display app re-engagement. While for iOS, we have only display app re-engagement. So now we are going to deep dive on both of them. Before deeping dive, I just wanted to give you an idea of how they look like on the screen. So on the left part of the slide, you can see the search app re-engagement. So it's a classic text ad where you can see that your app is installed. So if you click, you go straight to a page, a specific page on your app. On the right side, you have a classic interstitial banner of a gaming company. So while you are using other apps, you will see this kind of ad. And if you click on the interstitial, you go straight to the specific page of the app. When we talk about search, I just want to give you 4 points that you have to keep in mind in order to launch a search app re-engagement campaign. So the targeting is based on keywords. You are going to reach all of your users while they are looking for you or are looking for something that is related to your service. So that's why it's based on keywords. Users with the app will go directly to the specific page of your app. Users without the app, they will go first to the Play Store, install the app, and when they open it, they will open it in the exact same page of the deep link. It's a sort of install and continue. So they will have the same experience as the users that they have the app installed. As I said before, it works only for Android for now. Switching to display mobile engagement, on targeting side, it works on remarketing list. So you can work with Adjust to create the remarketing list you want to target in your campaign. So let's say you want to reach all the users that have downloaded the app, but didn't open the app in the last, let's say, 15 days. So you can work with your account manager in Adjust to create this list and target it. For users with the app, they will go directly to a specific page. While users without the app, they won't see your app. So for display app re-engagement, you are not gonna reach any new users. In terms of operating systems, as said, display app engagement works on both Android and iOS. Let me try to switch the slide. Doesn't seem working. Just give me 1 second, because it seems that my computer is frozen. Okay. Now we are going to switch to how to start. So which are the steps you have to keep in mind when thinking about re-engagement on a practical side. So Simon will guide us through the deep links, the setup of in-app conversions, and how to create remarketing lists. And then we will see with Eduardo and me and myself how easy it is to build campaigns on Google side. So I'm going to give the word to Simon so he can guide you through the first 2 steps.
Yep, thanks guys. So yeah, there are 4 main steps. The first one that we're going to focus on is enabling deep link. And then we're going to show you at the end how easy it is to just seamlessly transfer data from Adjust to AdWords. So enabling deep links, just a quick recap because we covered it before with the Pokemon ad. Deep links, basically if you have like a shoe, like an ad for shoe discounts or something, you click on it, if you have the app installed, you're going to be like seamlessly deep link into the app onto this like discount page into the app if you have the app installed. So what that means is that it's very easy for you to engage your users because they're looking for this discount, they click on it and they have it directly into the app. If you don't have the app though, you end up on the store usually where you have like one more stop point which can like cause loss of conversion. And you can see that with deep linking, the open rate and the engagement rate is usually very, very high, or much higher than without. Now we're going to focus on like 3 different types of deep links. The first one is default deep link. So it's basically what we've just seen. They only redirect users to an installed app, and if the user has the app already on their device. So you have the app, you click on the deep link, and boom, it opens. The problem is that if you don't have the app installed, then it gives an error because there's just no way to send the user anywhere. It's great because, I mean, it is pretty great for seamless transition, but it's especially great for retargeting campaigns when you know that your users have the app already. The second type is conditional deep link, which we can also call deferred deep linking on our side. And so they mainly center around redirects. What that means is that if your user already has the app on their device, what happens is they get deep linked the same as the default. But if they don't, they still have to basically install this app, right? So they click on the ad, they end up on the store, they install, they open the app, and then once they open the app, they get deep linked to the page that they want to see. Which sure, you have this stopping point, but in the end, they don't end up on the first homepage of your app. They end up wherever they were supposed to go. So that's really great for a mix of advertising. If you know that you have the app, if you don't know if your users have the app or not, you use deferred deep linking or conditional deep linking, and that's perfect. The third one, contextual deep links. We also call this like deferred deep linking as well, because Adjust is already getting this campaign information at time of click, and we can do deep linking magic. But the thing is, these contextual deep links, they combine not only the conditional deep link, where we can defer deep link into the app, but also where the user wants to go, where the user comes from, which specific ad was clicked. And so it's really great for referral campaigns, basically, because you can do all of this rewarding because you know where they're from. So they're really sophisticated, and that they're only really used for highly coordinated campaigns and not for just simple banner ads and such. So we're going to see now, because when you want to like remarket, you want to integrate your in-app events. So what are in-app events? You want to track and understand your users' behavior within your app, which helps you catch users at the right moment so you can encourage them to do like further actions. When you see the patterns, it allows you to plan when and how to re-engage these users, because you have the full funnel, basically. This implies that basically you need to track all relevant events in your app event funnel, from the app open till, let's say, the purchase at the end. And you also want to track additional information about each event, which we call event metadata or partner parameter, callback parameter at Adjust. For instance, let's talk about content view, which may like the content view event. It can contain a content ID, and that can tell us exactly which content has been viewed. So if you just set up install and purchase, you won't see exactly the user workflow. If you can get the app open, the registration, the content listing, etc., up to the down to the purchase, you know what's going on in your app, and you know exactly the drop-off point. So, for example, if you check app open, registration, and content listing, you can, and all of the other events, the metadata can be the category ID and the content ID for each of these events, because then you know what has been seen, what has been purchased as well. Now let's see how you can seamlessly basically check and create events on Adjust. By default, we track clicks, installs, there's the conversion rate, the session, the reattributions. All of these events are set up by default as soon as you basically implement the Adjust SDK properly. When you want to set up custom in-app events, like we saw before with purchase, registration, etc., it's very easy. You see on the bottom right corner, you have the create button. So you type the name of the event, which can be anything, and then you create. You get the small token there, and you get this token, put it into the SDK, and boom, you get tracking. These events can also be sent to Unique, which we saw before for like first purchase or first ride, sign up, etc. You might not want to have the logic in your app. You might want us to do it, which is possible. You just create the event simply, you set it to Unique, and you're basically done. Of course, all these events can be sent to your preferred partners like Google, so that you can create all of these lists. I'll show you later how we send this data. The third thing that you want to take into account when you do remarketing is the attribution window or reattribution window. So basically, the three things that you need to know about reattribution is that the moment when your users click on a re-engagement marketing campaign and they reopen the app, that's where the whole reattribution process is happening. You can re-engage users in a number of ways. Either you do email campaigns, push notifications, or you can use a partner like Google using deep links. And being able to match these inactive users to a new marketing campaign is a really important tool to understand how these efforts are performing. When you run remarketing campaigns with Adjust, you have mainly two things to take into account. The inactive user definition, which is the minimum amount of time a user must have gone inactive before we will consider them for potential reattribution. The default is 7 days. You can do 0 days, you can do 30 days, but that is the inactive period. So if you do 0, that means that all of your users will be reattributed as soon as they click on the remarketing campaign and get deep linked. So that's really up to you. It's completely flexible. And then it's the attribution window. That is the click on re-engagement add to app open window. It's the same for installs, so we have it for reattribution as well, because you might want to have a longer window, a shorter window for all these reattributions. So depending on your goals, you can set the reattribution window to 0 days, 365 days, depending on what targeting you want to do. And a lower inactive user definition or reattribution window may cause more users to be reattributed, obviously, because the reattribution window should be configured for your particular campaigns. Otherwise, the quality of your segments and users will decline. And now the linking part with Google. How do we share data and what kind of data should we share? That's going to be the next slide. And then the next slide. Exactly. So we have share data now, and then this one. So you can see now that you're all set up with your events and your metadata, content ID, etc., and your attribution window, it's time to share data with your selected partners. The metadata here, basically, the more data you share, the better Google can work with it. For example, they use an item like item ID as a remarketing parameter for better optimization and to create the remarketing lists. Now, the question is, how can we send that from Just to Google? It's really easy, and I'm gonna show that to you in a second. Yes, it's a video, it's not a live demo, I apologize for that, but we thought it was probably better. So here, that's the Adjust dashboard, settings, you see your events here, so we have copy to clipboard and tap on share button, partner setup, add partners, Google AdWords is right there. You have the conversion ID that you can find on your AdWords dashboard. You type in whatever conversion ID it is, then the install, which is the conversion label. That will allow us to send all the install data to Google. And then let's say you want to do a conversion ping on copy to clipboard. So you add the conversion label, my label name, my event label rather, and the conversion name. When you have these two fields, we'll start sending copy to clipboard as conversion pings to Google. But the remarketing, tap on share button. For example, you want to create remarketing list. You just seamlessly type in the conversion name, and then you're done. We're going to send all the tap event to Google really easily so that Google can create the marketing lists. And then we save, we can enable revenue forwarding, partner parameter forwarding, Google AdWords, partner parameter mapping here, meaning let's say you send content ID, but Google wants to receive item ID. So you can just do it straight in the dashboard. You type in content ID, which is what you send to us, and you map it to item ID. So we're going to do the transfer. It works like this with all partners, so you don't have to create different events with different partner parameters or metadata per partner. It's just one size fits all, and we handle all of the magic. I hope that was clear. I'm going to now give the mic back to Emiliano to walk you through adding remarketing lists on AdWords.
Thank you very much, Simon. It was super clear, and we hope it was clear for you as well, guys. Now we're gonna talk about remarketing list on Google side. It's pretty straightforward. So when you are adding a remarketing list on Google, you just have to go on your AdWords account. On the left side, there is the menu Shared Library and the Voice Audiences. When you are in Audiences, as you can see on the right side, there is mobile app users. You have just to click on Create a New List. And depending if you are on Android or on iOS, you will have the possibility on Android to link your account, as I said before, with your Play Store. And this is going to populate immediately with all our users, or on iOS to set up remarketing list as Simon just shown to you. Just for your info, you can do the same thing on Android. So you can work with Adjust on both Android and iOS. Now we're going to guide you through the re-engagement campaigns on Google. So Eduardo will talk about search, and I will talk about display.
Yeah, thank you, Emiliano. So I'm going to guide you on how to build search network mobile app engagement campaigns. So first of all, we go to the AdWords interface. We will click on Search Network Only. We will choose the campaign type, mobile app engagement, and then we will choose our app. If you are in the AdWords interface, you will see that scrolling down, you will be able to choose the country, language. So this is the standard things that we have for all the campaigns. This is why we didn't put it here. Then after choosing all of this, you will save. You will go to the next step, which is building the ad group and the ad. You will choose a name for your ad group. You will add the headline and description, and you will input your deep link. If you want to test if the deep link is working, you should click on Test this app URI below the deep link. You will have a pop-up with a QR code. You use your phone with a QR code reader, and if you have the app, it should open the app on the specific screen. So once we are sure that everything is working properly, we just need to do the last step, that will be adding keywords. As Emiliano mentioned before, we can only target on search by adding keywords. You will put it here, save, and we are done for search. Emiliano?
Yes, thank you, Edu. So related to display network, it's really easy for this kind of campaign as well to launch re-engagement. So as we have seen for search, you have to select your type of campaign. Here would be display network only. And then on marketing objectives, you will see on the drive action menu, engage with your mobile app. So you will select it. As you can see, choose marketing objective and choose your app. So you're going to look for your app. Remember that for display, you can launch the re-engagement campaign on both operating systems. Once you have done that, as said, you have to create the ad group and decide which kind of list you want to target with that ad group. So on the left side, we have Android. You select interest remarketing, and then you can link with the Play account. If it's already linked, you can create the list with Adjust. As you can see on the right side for iOS, where there is only setup remarketing list. So as you have seen with Simon, it's pretty easy on Adjust side to create remarketing list. If you have already created them, you will see the list of all the lists that you have created with Adjust. So you have just to select the list. In terms of creatives, for display app re-engagement, you have two possibilities. On the left side, there is app engagement hub. On the right side, there is image app engagement hub. What's the difference? The difference is that if you select the first one, we are going to pull information from your Play account. So we are going to pull images, text, and we are going to create all the ads that are useful to go live on our AdMob network. If you select the right side, so image app engagement ad, you can upload your own banners. So depending on if you have banners ready or not, you can use both of the solutions. This is the screen you will see once you have chosen one of the two, and you can select and put your headline and description. You can put your call to action, like open, and you can upload your deep link URL. So as you can see, it's very, very, very easy. There are only few steps, and the experience is pretty smooth.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pass the word to Eduardo to talk about best practices.
Yeah, thank you, Emiliano. So now that we know how to build campaigns for search and display, is the only networks that we can do it on AdWords. We're gonna see best practice first on the audience list, what we need to do, what we need to consider, and then when building your campaigns. So 3 things to consider when building your remarketing list. First of all, is you need to have a minimum of 10,000 IDFAs or ad IDs. This only applies for display campaigns. As mentioned before by Emiliano, search, we can only target all users. So segment of list is only for display. Second, build your list based on conversion events that are likely to occur often. This is what we have seen previously with Simon, and we have seen also previously on the user journey. So you will have a lot of events in your app. So you can track swipes, scroll downs, time on a screen. But on AdWords, only use these events that are really important for your app. So track the events and create the list out of it, not only of people doing the event, but also people dropping off. And third one, confirm that your lists are updated weekly or daily if you are using backup load, if you do this manually. But I guess a lot of you are using Adjust. So on Adjust, you will have it on real time. Okay, now we're gonna see how to build your campaigns. What do you need to consider? So here we have 4 things. First of all, is you need to optimize towards an in-app event that has at least 10 conversions per day. So imagine that you want to have more purchases and you are only having, let's say, 3, 4 per day. So what will happen? No problem. What we should do is try to find another conversion upper in the funnel that has a correlation with this last objective. So for example, let's say that you are a gaming app and you only have 4 or 5 purchases per day, but you know that from every 100 people arriving to level 5, you will have these 3, 4 purchases. So instead of optimizing towards the purchase, optimize towards the level 5. We will have much more data and Conversion Optimizer will work at full steam. Second thing, set the target CPA on how much you are willing to pay. This is really important because we have seen many clients asking about benchmarks. So we should forget about benchmarks and just think about our business. For some clients, they are happy to pay 3 euros for a purchase. Others, they think it's better to pay a bit higher. So just think about your business, about your ROI, and set the target CPA bids based on that. Third, don't do bid adjustments of more than 20% every 3 days. This is really important. Emiliano mentioned before that Conversion Optimizer needs 3 days to stabilize. So do these bid adjustments, 20% up or down, wait 3 days, see that everything is stabilized, and maybe later if you want to do another bid adjustment, you can do it, but don't do it before, please. And the last one, last but not least, the fourth, establish a campaign duration that reflects the conversion cycle of your app. So for example, let's say that you are a hotel app and you know that from the user download the app and the conversion, it happens, there is 30 days. So this is the time that you should take into account, this will be the duration of the campaign, 30 days. Don't shut down the campaign before because otherwise we are not gonna see all the conversions that are happening. So now Emiliano will talk about a real example that we had.
Yeah. Just to give you a concrete example of what happens if you follow the best practices. So this is a client that, as Eduardo said, started on CPC bidding, as you can see on the graph, the green arrow, to gather enough conversions. When we say gathering enough conversions, we mean 50 to 100 conversions in the first week, 10 days, because this will allow, when you switch to target CPA, to have enough insights for conversion optimizers to start optimizing better. So when the client decided to switch to target CPA, as you can see, the investment scale immediately, and we were able to achieve the desired scale per day. It's important also to see on the chart that the client was having 2 different ad groups with 2 different remarketing lists. One was activation and the other was retention. So the activation list was basically reaching people that have downloaded the app but didn't purchase anything in the last month. The retention list instead was people that have purchased something in the last week. So as you can see, is trying to reach dormant users and trying to reach active users. And the client followed the best practices of using a target CPA that is higher for activation and lower for retention, because for their business model, this makes sense. And this allowed them to reach the desired scale and to reach the KPIs that they were looking for. Last but not least, when we talk about re-engagement, we have talked about deep links, we have talked about remarketing lists, we have talked about how to follow the best practices. We don't have to forget about tailoring your message based on the list you are targeting. So this is an example of a food delivery app. On the left, you see which kind of users we are trying to reach. So new users, interested users, lapsed users, or loyal users. And based on their behavior, we are giving them a different message, because this is going to increase the conversion rates of these users. So for example, new customer, first meal is on us. Interested customer, dinner is there in 15 minutes. So we tell them an added value, a value proposition of our app. So we deliver fast, for example. Lapsed consumer, so people that put something in the cart, so maybe pizza, but then didn't order it. Buy one meal, we get one free. So give them a promotion, a discount, a reason why they should buy. And the last but not least, loyal customers. So rewarding the people that usually purchase with you. So remember always that tailoring your message is maybe one of the most important part of app re-engagement. We want to thank you. I think we were faster than we thought, but we want to thank you anyway for attending this presentation. We hope that it was clear and you have loads of questions. We are going to go now to take some questions. Just give us 10 seconds to check the questions and to see if there are some interesting questions. We are going to try to reply.
So we have 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah. So there are a lot of questions for Adjust, so I think Simon can help us here. So one question is for, I don't know if it's the actual name of this guy, but it's Rekisoft. Why is required in the Adjust SDK to manually suppressing double tracking on configuration changes, screen rotation? So Simon, do you know how to take this offline?
Yeah, so actually, I'm not really sure what you mean by that question. I can't really answer right now because I'm not sure what you mean by suppressing double tracking. You can, however, reach out to us and we can hop on a call to explain it, because you shouldn't have to suppress double tracking or any. That's not something that I'm familiar with, and especially with the screen rotation, I'm not sure I understand the context around that. So just reach out to us, reach out to UIM, and we can definitely explain that then and have a call to clarify the situation.
Thank you, Simon. We are seeing a lot of technical questions, so maybe if you have this kind of technical question, it's good to reach out to your account managers in Adjust or in a Google, depending which kind of question you have, and we can help you there. But we saw just a questions related.
There is one question from Christina. She's asking, is it possible to track universal links, app links for mSearch for both iOS and Android? So, Emiliano,
this is very interesting question. Right now, it's possible only on Android. So right now, it's a beta and it's possible only on Android. We hope that it's going to be possible soon on iOS. But to answer to one of this question, is possible only on Android.
Yeah, actually, we have a product that is on beta. So you can ask your account manager if you want to do it, just to sign you in for the beta. And as Emiliano said, it's only for Android.
Okay. Let me check if there is something else.
Maybe we can do another one from Adjust.
Just keep one, because there are so many technical questions that we want to be sure to pick up one that is good.
Let's do this one. There is one question from Michael. This is, Simon, I think will be for you. So yeah, keep attention. So Michael is asking, sharing the data from Adjust, it's possible to define list by events combinations? I mean, just target users that add product to cart but didn't purchase.
Let me look at the questions. Showing data from Adjust, it's possible to define list by event combination. Let me just target users. Yeah, I mean, at least on our side, it's completely possible to, I'm reading the question as I speak. On our side, at least it's completely possible to send any type of event that you want to your partners, so to Google or to anyone else, so that you can basically have this partner optimize and create marketing lists on anything. So it doesn't have, you can send add to cart, you can send purchase, etc. And then like Google would be able to optimize based on the event. You can also send the metadata with the item ID, etc., so that you have more than just the number of times this event was triggered. Right.
Yeah, we have one last question, let's say.
Yeah, so we're gonna reply one more question. It's from Bonial France. Is asking, I have discrepancies between AdWords and Adjust events with re-engagement campaign. Both support cannot find the region. What do you advise as a next step? So this really depends on the percentage of the discrepancy. Normally, if it's below 20%, that is normal. There are many reasons of that. If you reach your account manager in Adjust or in Google, we can send you a list of why we have these discrepancies below 20%. If it's above, reach your account manager in both Adjust and Google, and we will have to look at it because it's above the limit, so we can try to solve it out.
Yeah. So since these are technical issues or topics, it's always good for you to remember that on both sides, so Google and Adjust, there will be a person ready to help you. So if you have this kind of questions or you don't know the answer, feel free to reach out to them because they are there for you.
Is that okay? We have 2 minutes left.
You want to ask?
Yeah. So we have we wanted to, in case we didn't have any questions, we prepared some that we are getting many times from a lot of you. So we thought it was good to share it here on the webinar. So one question will be, can I optimize towards 2-3 in-app events at the same time in Google AdWords?
Well, technically, yes. The system allows you to optimize towards the number of in-app events you want. But following the best practices would be optimized towards just one in-app event, because you have to give the insight to the conversion optimizer to understand which is the most important in-app events you want to reach in your app. So always think about just one in-app event, decide which is, and optimize towards that.
Cool. Thank you, Amy. And the last one will be, can I use more than one list for my re-engagement campaigns?
Yeah, you can use as many lists as you want. As Simon said before, it's pretty straightforward in creating them. There is no limit. What we suggest you to do is using every list in one single ad group, because this way you will be able to bid differently, and so the conversion optimizer will optimize in a better way. So create as many lists as you want. Remember the limit of 10K IDFAs and IDs, but you can create the list that you want, the number of lists that you want. Cool.
I think it's 10:15 here in Dublin, 11:15 in Berlin for Simon. So thank you very much, guys, for attending. Hope this was useful. And if you have more questions, feel free to reach your account managers. You have our names on the first slide, so you can tell your account managers in Google and Adjust to reach us, and we will be happy to reply any questions.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
See you.
Thank you, Simon.
Ciao, Simon.
Ciao.